Hello, my name is Peter West, and today I just want to talk about some of the advantages of the Peplink ecosystem and the support that you get from West Networks, but mostly the Peplink ecosystem. And so I was asked to put together a competitive comparison against a specific competitor, and I don't think that's relevant. And I'll explain why. Because anybody that knows their product knows why it's good. And sometimes you don't understand why another product might or might not be better and or the competitive advantages. So if I talk about another product like it's missing this feature, well, I don't know every one of their product lines or why that feature might or might not exist. But if you're an expert in another product, you might know that. So what I'd like to do is show you why I believe Peplink is one of the best routers I've ever used and why West Networks has been using and selling and deploying Peplink routers since 2005. I think that shows a better story of why these products are so amazing. We do have this really cool slideshow I'm going to use just to guide my conversation here. But once again, the whole idea is to talk about the ecosystem, the plethora of hardware, and the capabilities that are there for the Peplink to be able to use in the field. And really, the goal is to accomplish your mission. I mean, it should be Peplink getting the mission done. They got unbreakable connectivity, supercharger connectivity, SD-WAN. But ultimately, the idea here is, does the router, does the solution solve the problem? And that is one of the number one reasons I've loved Peplink. The very first job I ever did with Peplink was I had a small business server that I was trying to deploy at a small business server. These old ones, they used to be like Small Business Server 2003. And it was like a little box that had SharePoint and email and file storage and Active Directory. And it was like one size fits all box for businesses with less than 25 employees. And the problem is back, especially in 2003, email was on the craze and internet was not reliable. And so you either had to go with the fact that, oh, my cable's modem's down, I'm no longer receiving emails until it's back up, or you had to have some really expensive internet that would cost more than the whole server system every month. And so these small businesses struggled with the idea of, how do I have this email and these files sharing, but keep my business online for a price that's affordable? And I found the Peplink Balanced Router. And this router would allow me to take a cable modem and a DSL modem. This router itself acted as a name server on the internet. So I could have my public IP with my cable modem, a public IP with my DSL modem, and then I would point NS1 at my cable modem and NS2 at my DSL modem. And so mail.mydomain.com went to the Peplink router, and the Peplink router decided which internet connection was best. And for the first time in my life, I had an enterprise class solution at a small business budget. I think the router cost me $300 or some variant thereof. And I was blown away that this $300 product could solve such a massive business need. And ever since that, in 2005, that I discovered this product, I've never ceased to be amazed by the solutions that Peplink solves. And that by itself is why I choose Peplink. Now, that might not be enough for other people, and I get it. And so then we have to talk about our competitive landscape and what is Peplink. And we can talk about being a price leader, flexible, and enterprise-driven capabilities, right? And so you have companies that are really expensive with a lot of enterprise capabilities, and you have companies that are really affordable with maybe not the enterprise capabilities. And then you have Peplink right in the middle. We're not the most expensive, we're not the least expensive, but we have the enterprise capabilities and the user friendliness that you might see from some of the less expensive product. Then we talk about our hardware portfolio. We talk about that we have really cost-effective single cellular routers, and then we can go all the way to our quad cellular HD4 MBX 5G. Very affordable, maybe less affordable for some people, but incredibly popular. It's one of the best routers I sell. And the whole idea here is that we have routers that fit the landscape of the deployment scenario. Police cars, ambulances can take a BR1 Mini or a BR1 Pro 5G and have 4G or 5G connectivity, where a field operations or more remote deployment scenario might have a BR2 Pro 5G with dual 5G. And then you have a command vehicle that's going to have a bunch of police officers, or a mobile health clinic, or a branch office that needs highly resilient connectivity with AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, and potentially Starlink and others with the HD4 MBX 5G. And then you have the dual 4G. So you have a dual 5G and a dual 4G transit, highly reliable, industrial built, and it's designed to be shoved in basically the smallest of closets and corners in industrial applications. And so our transit, it's vibration certified and ready for the field as a dual 4G router. And so we're able to take all these different applications and verticals, and we have a hardware solution to be able to solve that. And that on the slideshow, you'll see the far one. I'm showing you the most common range of mobile connectivity, but we also support enterprise branch connectivity. We have full SD-WAN capabilities, up to 40 gigabit per second routers with 10 gigabit SFPs and gigabit Ethernet and Starlink capabilities. And so the single ecosystem, the single platform, the same operating system that is on this little tiny router is on our $32,000 40 gigabit per second EPX router. And so you have this unified ecosystem from my small cellular all the way to my enterprise with the same firewall policies, same outbound policies, same traffic shaping, same training, BGP, OSPF, RIP. So you have enterprise capabilities in a small router, and then you have that high performance data center capabilities in a large router. And then you talk about what really makes Peplink unique, and that's going to be our VPN. Almost every competitor out there is going to say they have failover connectivity. We have 2 SIM cards. You can fail over from one to the other. Or we have 4 SIM cards or 2 active SIM cards, and you fail over from AT&T to Verizon, or they'll say they choose the best. We pick the best. We'll fail over or fail back. Peplink's Speed Fusion VPN. So Speed Fusion is software, it's a service, or technology, I should say, that enables the ability to aggregate multiple internet connections together to create a truly resilient, reliable, and fast network connection. And so the idea is that you can combine the best of AT&T, the best of T-Mobile, the best of Verizon, the best of Starlink, the best of your cable modem or your DSL modem or your fiber internet. Combine them all together to make the most resilient, reliable, and fast network that you can. And that's the true magic behind the Peplink ecosystem, is that not only do we have a unified ecosystem of hardware with routers that have built-in cellular, built-in capabilities, built-in Ethernet, built-in PoE, with redundant power inputs, DC and AC. So we pull all that together, but then we take all of the internet connections and we pull that together, and we call that Speed Fusion. And so Speed Fusion allows us to make available internet that might not be available for use. And I'll give an example of this. Let's say you're in an incredibly rural area of West Virginia or Kentucky, and the best internet connection you can get is half a meg on a SIM card, or maybe a meg. Well, if we have our EPX router, which my mobile mammography customers do have sometimes, and they have, let's say 10 for easy math, they have 10 4G or 5G modems, and each one of those is getting a meg of throughput. Well, now they're getting 10 megs of throughput. If each of those modems is getting 10 megs of throughput, now they're getting 100 megs of throughput. So you can take this seemingly low, slow connection and make it usable for your business mission or your operations. By combining all these throughputs together, that is the magic about Peplink. And what's really cool is you don't need to have a bunch to do it. The BR1 Mini has a single 4G modem has an Ethernet WAN. You can plug this into your cable modem, and literally if your cable goes out, the 4G takes over seamlessly. Your business operations continue to go, your network continues to operate. If a single 4G isn't enough, I can take the BR2 Pro 5G. I can bond the two 5G modems together. And then if you have a nice high-speed cable internet, you can have the cable internet here. In the event the cable internet fails, it fails over to bonded 5G. And so I can take advantage of the high-speed cable or fiber internet and then seamlessly transition to two 5G modems working together to account for the high-speed connectivity you had previously. This is actually sometimes so fast that I've had customers turn off their cable internet and stick with just dual 5G because they've realized that having T-Mobile and AT&T or T-Mobile and Verizon 5G internet was actually faster than the 100 meg cable modem they had with less downtime because there's towers all over the place. The ability to aggregate data is single-handedly one of the best capabilities Peplink has, and it's hard to explain without seeing it. And I believe Matt, my brother, made this really cool video demo. Maybe we can link to it in the description or link to it, however that works, right here, where we demonstrate actually having a voice over IP phone call and unplugging the internet and having it fail over. And what we're demonstrating is session persistence. It's not a failover. We're using all the internet that we have and keeping you connected. We're not failing over. And that's like that, if you can change that mindset, that's the mindset that we're trying to change with Peplink. We're no longer failing over. We're using it all. And we can change the priority of that. So we can say, I want to primarily use this high performance cable, but if there's performance issues, if it doesn't work right, if the bill doesn't get paid and gets shut off, I want to instantaneously have my dual 5G take over. So if you take our advanced VPN and then we add our strong security, and I know Palo Alto and FortiGate, and there are a couple really good security gateways and firewalls, and I will happily work with those. If you have one of these enterprise class, I mean, I'm not going to compete with enterprise class next-gen firewalls. However, I would say 90% of people don't properly use their firewall systems. And so when you're looking at security and you compare what you're getting with some other appliances and the competitors to Peplink, you'll see that Peplink actually has a really nice security capability. One, we actually have a PCI compliance checklist, and we have PCI compliance mode in our routers. It helps guide you through PCI compliance. Then two, we have a full capability DPI aware, layer 7 aware firewall with content blocking, application blocking, and regional blocking, and SaaS application capabilities. Meaning I could say, allow Microsoft Office 365 and all Microsoft applications, no matter where they are in the world, but block known bad countries. And so I can allow Microsoft applications, even if they're in a known bad country, but then block the bad country. This is going to protect you from attackers, from bad actors, ransomware. If the attack can't get home, then it's not going to connect. So even if something gets in, if it can't get back out, you're halfway protecting yourself. Then we have an amazing API, and we've had security vendors actually integrate with our API to create automatic firewall policies. So in other words, if they detect a threat coming in from one of your sites, the API can send a query to InControl, our cloud management platform, and actually block that traffic in the firewall, terminate the sessions, and prevent additional bad actions from that IP address or location. So not only do we have a inbound, outbound, and internal firewall capabilities with grouped networks, access control lists, SaaS capabilities like Microsoft Office and Google, layer 7 capabilities like application blocking, a content aware URL blocking built into our firewall capabilities, which I'll show you in a few seconds. And then we also have integration with SIM, so we can send sessions and URLs and NetFlow to your SIM for real-time analytics. You can send that right to Azure Sentinel, right to Fluency, right to Splunk, or any other security agency that's going to be monitoring your technology, your platform. So this is enterprise-grade aware capabilities built right into our firewall. Then you take the fact that our ecosystem is complete. So we have a complete ecosystem. It means we have the routers, the SD-WAN. Then we have switches, access points, and antennas, a complete array of antennas going from these little tiny antennas to mobility antennas that go on the roof of your vehicle or outside your building, to really nice high gain fixed install or maritime antennas that can be deployed on buildings or on vessels for long range, higher capacity. And it's all built into the same ecosystem. And then all of that is then managed in our In Control platform. So let me show you that real fast. So In Control is our centralized management platform that allows you to manage your entire Peplink ecosystem right from the router or right from a single pane of glass. So from In Control, you can manage all of your reporting, your event logs, your SIM cards, your data pools. You can manage your VPN profiles and connect all of your sites together with zero-touch configuration, zero-touch Wi-Fi management, zero-touch VLANs, policy traffic shaping, zero-touch firewalls, zero-touch VLAN management, route management. And then we also offer a bulk configurator for configuring thousands of devices to be exactly the same. You take a configuration file, you load it into the bulk configurator, and it pushes it out to all the devices. But we were talking about security. I want to show you the firewall. So if I go into firewall settings, I can pull up my default rule. Here you can see I've created a default policy that allows, and I'm in the United States, and this is just a demo, but it allows United States. I allow SaaS applications like Google, Zoom, WebEx, Microsoft, and more. I allow peplink.com, and I can literally block everything else. And so I can create these rules that are either allowing access to a particular IP address or domain name, ports, SaaS applications, or regions. And all of those databases are downloaded to the router and stored on the router for access even offline. And so these firewall rules, we have outbound firewall rules, inbound firewall rules, internal firewall rules, which is between VLANs or VPNs, intrusion detection, DOS prevention, and then content blocking. So I can block BitTorrent, POP3, a number of applications. We have over 1,500 applications that we can block. And then we have a web blocking built right in, so content-aware web blocking. All of these features are included in our router. You can everything other than the SaaS and regional blocking can be done on the router without the cloud. So then we take all this amazing technology, and now I blow your mind with why I love this technology. It's all perpetual. If you don't want to pay for our cloud services, if you don't want to buy a warranty, this router will work in perpetuity forever. The cloud features are included with a warranty. So you buy the warranty, all the cloud features are included. No licensing, no nickel and diming, the SpeedFusion Connect bonding, the DPI capabilities, the regional blocking, the SaaS applications, it's all included in the warranty. But if you don't pay for the warranty, you don't want the warranty, you don't want tech support, the router will function by itself forever. And if you buy our bigger routers like the BR2 Pro 5G or the MBX, you get because they have multiple internet connections, you get the bonding for free. You just have to set up a bonding router or set up a Fusion Hub, which you can download for free to bond the router together. So if you're not using Peplink's cloud services, you can use the router forever. And to me, that's just incredible. So if you want to download firmware, I can go to peplink.com, support, firmware user manuals, and literally download all the firmware for every router made. No serial numbers, no gating, no username and passwords, no warranty. Peplink.com. And so I get a lifetime of warranty, or a lifetime of firmware, a lifetime of feature capabilities in our business class units. And I will come back to that in a second. I get bonding. I get a clean user interface. I get robust security, VPN, and firewall rules. And I get a unified ecosystem from my access points to my LAN switches with PoE and ruggedized capabilities, to my data center routers, all the way to a little tiny mobile hotspot. It's all the same UI, the same ecosystem, the same platform, the same management, which means it costs less to manage. It's easier to manage. Your total cost of ownership is going to be less. And you can bring your own internet, bring your own SIM cards, bring your own ISP provider, so you can free yourself from contracts that want to charge you monthly just to manage your infrastructure. You can manage tens of thousands of devices in control at the touch of a button. And I know that's weird, and I know you might say that's unbelievable, but it's how I've grown my company. It's how my support staff supports my users. The power of in control and the centralized management, the reporting and the capabilities, the single user interface allows us to support every type of network deployment from start to finish. I do want to challenge you. Take a look at one of our routers. If you want a demo unit, let me know. If you want to get a demo, a deep dive, let me know. But I challenge you to find a company that is going to provide you free firmware for life, free perpetual licensing for their equipment for life, and equipment that doesn't require contracts and subscriptions to operate. I'm going to throw a caveat because someone's going to attack this. We have routers called prime devices. Prime devices are specifically engineered to be competitive advantages, to lower the cost of purchase, and then they're subscription based. They will still work as routers with failover, even hot failover forever. There are some features that that are added as a prime device. So prime devices include this Fusion Hub or Speed Fusion licensing. They include additional capabilities like advanced features that come in that you can then buy. You can buy perpetually. So prime care devices are really low cost of ownership with an annual subscription, and as a way of competing with subscription model devices that offer lower capital cost or lower capital expense units. These devices can operate independently, but they're designed license-wise to compete with these lower CapEx solutions. Whereas our enterprise routers will work perpetually forever because they come as a standard. So anytime you see prime, it means that it's been specifically designed to be a subscription model competitor, but it still will operate forever. Just some of the features are linked to the prime subscription. Outside of that, if you have any questions, please reach out to me, sales@westnetworks.com, and we'd be more than happy to answer those questions. You can also check us out at peplinkuniversity.com, which links to our YouTube channel. So peplinkuniversity.com or sales@westnetworks.com, and take a look at what we have. And I think you can browse our catalog at buypeplink.com. Thank you very much. I hope this is insightful for you, and you have a great day.